Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. First off, y'all get the mail pattern bonus, J Dog, tonight. Been at Dollywood all day. I'm wore out. Wearing a hat without light, to the way my light is, makes a big shadow, so I'm going bald for y'all tonight. We got a doozy lined up, y'all. We got a doozy lined up. We got James Franklin, shit can. Penn State drops their third game in a row, second, as 20-point or more favorites, y'all. Absolutely insane. Oregon goes down at home. FSU loses their third in a row. Georgia, Auburn, controversial calls. Got more than that to cover. So before we get into it, y'all, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell, subscribe to the channel, help a brother out, get in that comment section, tell me your take on some of the stuff we go over tonight. Dollywood was a madhouse today, y'all. Everybody's wore out, but I'm here giving y'all your video. Just to update before we get started. We'll be doing videos Sunday through Thursday. Friday, I'm going to spend with the family. Saturday, you know what I'm doing Saturday. Trying to balance work, YouTube, life. Gotta keep time for the family. I hope y'all understand that. Enough rambling. Let's get into it, y'all. We're going to start with the breaking news. Penn State at home loses 22-21 to Northwestern. 20.5-point favorites on the closing line. It was 21.5 on some websites. What went wrong, y'all? After this game, Franklin says Drew Aller's out for the season. I hate that for him. He come back this year. Trying to win a national title. I never thought he was a first round, second round, or even a third round NFL pick. But there's still scouts drooling over him, y'all. All because of his size. His production on the field has never warranted him being anything other than a fourth or fifth round pick at the highest. I feel bad for the kid. I feel bad for K-John Allen to come back. Nick Singleton to come back. Anybody else on that team to come back. Hoping they'd make a run at a national title that has now lost 3 games in a row, and their coach is fired. What went wrong with Penn State this year? Did they just listen to the hype all offseason? Get the big head? Thinking they could just come in and go through the motions and beat everybody? Franklin's always been an overrated coach, y'all. I've said that on this channel since the day I made it. But what went wrong for them to lose 3 games in a row? Usually they'll beat everybody but the top 15, top 25 teams they play. They'd lose to Michigan. They'd lose to Ohio State. And before the Big Ten added USC, Oregon, UCLA. That's all they had to play to have a good record was Ohio State and Oregon. They just had to beat up on Minnesota, Wisconsin. You know, the scrubs of the Big Ten. Now Indiana's up there too. But the Big Ten was down, and James Franklin feasted on that, y'all. He took advantage of a Big Ten that had 2 really good teams, and he was the third-tier team, and the rest of the teams were basically garbage. Well, then they added Oregon, USC, UCLA, added these teams. Then some other teams started investing in football more, NIL, all that. And I think it's all just come to a head this year. If you'd have told me 3-4 weeks ago that James Franklin would be fired from Penn State before Billy Napier lost his job in Florida, I'd have bet everything I owned on it that Billy Napier would get fired before James Franklin. That's how fast things change in college football, y'all. James Franklin was winning 10 games a year like clockwork. Now they've lost to Oregon at home. Then they went on the road to UCLA, took an ass from a team that hadn't even had a lead in a game all season. Then this week they're at home again as 20.5-point favorites and lose to Northwestern, y'all. Northwestern is the bottom feeder of the Big Ten every year. They had a couple of good seasons under Fitzgerald or Fitzpatrick, whatever his name was. Besides that, they've been perennial bottom feeders, and now Penn State is losing to them at home. Has lost 2 games in a row as 20-point favorites or higher. What went wrong? What do y'all think went wrong at Penn State this year? Do you think that they just bought the hype all off season, listening to the rat poison, as Nick Saban would say? They was feeling themselves. They thought they was hot shit. Or do you think the team just really wasn't that good and it just all come to a head this year? They even went out and got Trevor Pino from Syracuse. That was a damn good receiver. But Drew Aller can't get nobody the ball, y'all. If you stop the run against Penn State, you beat them. You can load the box with 8, 9 guys, and Drew Aller will not beat you. I know Drew Aller got hurt. I hate that for the kid. I really do. I think he's overhyped, overrated, but I hate to see any kid go down. I've said that on this channel before. I'll never be that fan to celebrate somebody's injury. I'm just mind blown over this Penn State stuff, y'all. Absolutely mind blown. I figured they'd go 9-3, 10-2 like they always do. I even said on my Oregon breakdown when they played Oregon, they'll lose this game, beat up on the scrubs. Well, now they can't even beat the scrubs, y'all. While we're on the subject, I wasn't going to go in this order, but let's cover Oregon so I can discuss how I feel about them. Let me find them on here, y'all. Indiana travels across the country to Oregon and puts belt to ass on Oregon, y'all. It was a relatively close game, but Indiana basically had to lead the entire game. They went out there, played ball. Mendoza was the better quarterback. Dante Moore had a bad game. Let's just be honest. Nobody besides Pat McAfee picked Indiana on game day. And I don't know if anybody I watched that picked Indiana. That includes all 3 guys. Josh Pate. Any of these guys you watch. None of them picked Indiana. I didn't pick Indiana. I said Oregon would win by about 10 or 14. 7, 10, 14, something like that. But Indiana went in there. Even after traveling across the country, we've seen how that works out for people. We got another one of those cross-country specials on this video. And Indiana takes care of business. And the way Penn State's played, do you think that Oregon going into Penn State is as impressive as a win as we thought it was when it happened? Is Oregon really that good of that team this year? And I know close wins a win, trust me. I just thought, like, they got up by 14 in that game. Oregon got up by 14 against Penn State. Let Penn State come back with double overtime. It is a hostile environment. But then after they lose to UCLA and then Northwestern goes in there and wins. Like I said, close wins a win. But after watching Oregon yesterday against Indiana, I know Indiana's good. They put the absolute freaking bully beat down. Belt the ass, open a can of whoop ass, as Stone Cold would say, on Illinois. Then the next week they went to Iowa and only scored 15 points. I think Indiana's legit, y'all. I really do. But I'm not quite sold that Oregon is a top 10 team right now. And there's still a whole season to go. It's no big deal. Teams are still getting better, finding themselves, getting guys back from injury. But I'm impressed with Indiana, y'all. I don't know that Kurt Cignetti's going to be at Indiana that long. I truly don't. Because I know he's older, but some big-time program will come calling for him. And also, to go back to the James Franklin thing, he's going to have a job. I think he would be a perfect fit for Virginia Tech, y'all. He's already good at recruiting that Pennsylvania, Virginia area, Ohio, them areas, Maryland. And he's a program builder. He may not ever win you a national title, but he still could. Coaches finally change sometimes. Some of them are stuck in their ways, and some of them make the changes necessary to take that next step. But if I was Penn State, if I was Virginia Tech, I'd call James Franklin, offer whatever he wants, and hire him tomorrow. I think he could build Virginia Tech back up to being a 8-9 win team a year in the ACC. I really do. The ACC is not a great conference right now. Y'all let me know in the comment section, where do you think James Franklin should go? Right now, I know Arkansas's open, UCLA's open, Virginia Tech's open. Wisconsin may come open if they got the money. Florida could still come open. There's big jobs out there. I swear I think James Franklin will be a perfect fit at Virginia Tech. I really do. Let's keep it moving along, y'all. Up next, we're going to cover good old Rocky Top. Tennessee 34, Arkansas 31. The score's closer than the game was. It was tied at halftime. Tennessee comes out, put 17 in a row up. They're up 34-17. Heupel takes his foot off the gas. Vols win by 3. Could have won by more. Should have won by at least about 10. Should have covered that spread. I love how opportunistic our defense is, y'all. Do they give up some yards sometimes? Absolutely. But they don't give up many touchdowns. Once teams get to the red zone, unless they just bust a big play on us, once you get to the red zone, you're probably kicking a field goal. We're good at holding teams when they get to the red zone. And we're very opportunistic. We force a lot of turnovers, whether it's fumbles, interceptions, whatever. Next Saturday is when we find out who's who and what's what, y'all. We roll down to Tuscaloosa against the Tide, third Saturday in October. Go get your cigars. Get fired up this week. One thing that makes me feel good about playing Alabama is Arkansas, a lot of their drives was Taylor Green just being a hell of an athlete. I know Ty Simpson's a pretty good athlete, but he's not the athlete Taylor Green is. So I think our defense matches up better against Bama than they do a team like Arkansas. It's going to be tough going down Tuscaloosa, y'all. But we can do it. Joey Aguilar can put the team on his back. We'll run the ball. Alabama has not stopped to run much this year, y'all. For some reason, teams, when they play them in the first half, run the ball. And then the second half, they quit running the ball and start throwing the ball. Georgia done it. Vandy done it. Missouri done it. Teams will be running the ball and Bama be in the game, and then they start slinging the ball all over the place. We're getting sidetracked. Tennessee, getting a win, period, is all I ask. And playing a team after they fire a coach, y'all, is always scary. Because look what UCLA's done. They hadn't had a lead in the game all season. Then they whoop Penn State. And then they go on the road at Michigan State. It's been a pretty good team this year. And beat them 38-13. Anytime a team fires a coach, their team usually gets a jolt for a couple of games. They seem to play better. So anytime you're playing a team that just fired their coach and you get a W, that's all you can ask for, y'all. I'm fired up for next weekend. We only moved up to 11. I thought we'd get in the top 10. But it's number 6 Bama versus number 11 Tennessee. Third Saturday in October, y'all. I know y'all are ready for it. I'm ready for it. Let's move on. This one wasn't a game at all. Illinois, when they play decent teams, they can win. They're the new Penn State of the Big Ten, y'all. They're going to whoop up on everybody else. When they have to play Ohio State or Oregon or somebody like that, they're going to lose. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They ain't got the athletes. They're second tier. I mean, they're that team that Penn State used to be. They'll beat all the bad teams in the Big Ten, lose to all the good ones. Ohio State had this game in hand. Penn State, I'm still stuck on James Frankin, y'all, and I'm more out from Dollywood. Give me a break here. Ohio State had this game in hand all game. I mean, it was never close. It was 23 at halftime. It was 34-10. And Illinois scored like 2 or 3 minutes left. It was an ass whooping. Not no reason to really go over it. Altmaier had a bad game. I told y'all in my preview last week. If they had any chance in that game, Altmaier would have to have the game of his life, and he had a terrible game. I think he threw at least 2 picks. I think it was 3. Just a bad game for Illinois, y'all. Done covered Indiana, Oregon. Let's move on to Texas A&M, Florida. This game was 17-17 at one point, or 17-14 at least. And then Texas A&M ran away with it. Started thinking Florida might really just keep Napier, y'all. Yes, they beat Texas last week at home. That was great. But they are 2-4 right now. Texas A&M's a good team. Very good team. I think Mike Elko's got that culture turned around. I think A&M might win 19 games this year. Or more. They're really talented. They're well coached. Florida's the opposite. Lagway he's not progressed. They're pretty good at home, bad on the road. I just don't think Napier can develop players, y'all. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Florida's players don't really ever get much better from the time they get on campus till the time they leave. They just don't. Don't know how he has a job, y'all. He's now 21-24 or something like that as a coach at Florida. They fired Dan Mullen for going 29-13. Like I said, if you'd have told me 3 weeks ago that James Frankin would get fired at Penn State before Napier got fired at Florida, I would ask you to give me some of what you're smoking. Ask you what kind of drugs you're on. Or like Stephen A says, stay off the weed. Because 3 weeks ago, nobody in the damn country thought James Franklin would get fired before Billy Napier. And this wasn't something that was even logical. But yeah, here we are. Let's move on to the Red River Shootout, y'all. Texas beat Oklahoma's ass, y'all. John Mateer looked terrible. I don't know if it's from the injury. I don't know what it was from. I picked Texas in this game. I just had a feeling Texas' back was against the wall. They couldn't afford another loss. 23-6. Oklahoma's up 6-3 at halftime. Texas made adjustments at half. Oklahoma didn't. But Tier threw 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. I've said all season, the kid's talented, but I didn't see what everybody else seen that had him as a favorite for the Heisman and stuff. I just didn't. He had like 6 touchdowns to 3 interceptions before yesterday. And yesterday, now he's probably got 5 or 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Why does everybody say that they don't think that he was the leader for Heisman? I just never understood it. Yes, he'll throw a pretty ball here and there. Yes, he runs, but he's too small. I said that. And then he already got hurt. Now Oklahoma can't run him 20 times a game because they can't afford to risk getting his hand hurt again. And a guy that's 6'1", 6'2", 210, 215, a quarterback, you cannot run like a running back 20 times a game. Against Michigan, he ran it 20 times a game. Against Auburn, he ran it quite a bit. That's just not sustainable through a season with the quarterback unless his name's Cam Newton or Vince Young or something. I thought Texas would win that game. I picked Texas. I didn't think they'd beat them like that. Oklahoma's reeling, y'all. They got a tough schedule coming up. We'll have to see how the season goes for them. Let's go to Tennessee's opponent Saturday. You had Bama going to Columbia, Missouri. This was a damn good game, y'all. Missouri had its chance. They threw a pick on the last drive with like 50 seconds left. Chance to drive down, take the lead, or tie it with a field goal. And on the play, that Pabula threw an interception on y'all. He had 2 or 3 guys wide open, but yet he threw it right over the guy that was covered for an interception. Bama keeps winning, y'all. They've won, 5 or 6 in a row? Hats off to them. I ain't got my hat on today, but hats off to them. They're a pretty good team. I mean, they've keep finding ways to win. I'm anxious for Saturday, y'all. Missouri's schedule is still manageable. They could still win 9 games. But they needed that one yesterday, and really, they probably should have got it, but they didn't. They made the mistakes. Bama didn't. Ty Simpson, y'all, he is surgical at quarterback. He does not turn the ball over. And he don't even make mistakes, like no kind of mistake. He's just a damn good quarterback. I think him and Aguilar on Saturday is going to be an absolute freaking show. I cannot wait for him. It's literally could move somebody up to the leader for Heisman. That's what kind of game Saturday's going to be. I can't remember who Missouri plays, but I know they still got Oklahoma and a couple of hard teams. So Missouri's down, but they ain't out. They've only got 1 loss. I called this game. I didn't think it would look like that, y'all. I did not think it would look like this. I tried to tell my Michigan buddy. These teams traveling out west do not do good. He knows that. He knew it. I still thought Michigan would be more competitive than they was. You got USC 31, Michigan 13. It wasn't even a game. Walk-on running back, freshman walk-on running back. Ran wild on Michigan for USC, y'all. USC looked like a pretty tough team yesterday. If they'd have somehow pulled that game out against Illinois that they lost on the last second field goal, they'd probably be a top 15 team right now. I'm not sure what kind of schedule USC has coming up. I've not really looked into it. But USC could still win 9 or 10 games, y'all. They're a pretty good football team. Maava, however you say it, he's a good quarterback, too. I think USC could have a good year. It's that travel, man. These Big Ten teams and a couple ACC teams that have to play Cal and Stanford. It just, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I really do. College kids should be flying across country every Saturday to play games. You know, back a couple of years ago, conferences made sense. You know, you had the Southeastern Conference. All the teams were pretty much in the South. You had Pac-12. All of them was out west. You had the Big Ten. That was mostly Midwest teams and North teams, you know. Now it's just everywhere. I hate it. Money killed the conferences, and I hate it. Yet all they care about is student athletes, you know. Don't forget that. It's all they care about, the student athletes. Let's go down to Baton Rouge, y'all. I got to take my love down to Baton Rouge. LSU 20. The Gamecocks 10. Cocktober effect was not in effect. This game was never really a game. It was close in the first half, but at no point did you ever think South Carolina was going to win. South Carolina's been a big disappointment this year, y'all. LSU's not impressed nobody yet, but they're 5-1. So they're still right there. Everything they want still in front of them. They can get going on offense a little bit. LSU will be dangerous. But we're also in week 6, and I've not seen it yet. I mean, it won't happen. Nussmeier's been a disappointment, but not as big of a disappointment as Lenore Sellers, y'all. I mean, everybody thought Sellers was going to be freaking first-round draft pick, and he's just not looked good this year. But he don't have weapons either. I mean, he don't. Nick Harbor, he's a hell of an athlete, but he was always a track guy that just wanted to just play football. He quit track, focus on football, but I don't know that his heart's in football. I don't know enough to make that accusation. I'm just saying he's one of those guys like Jonathan Congo for Tennessee. If you're a Tennessee fan of old, you remember Jock West Smith. I mean, these guys look like Tarzan and play like Jane. I'm saying Nick Harbor can't figure it out, but it seems like right now he's just the athlete that's still learning how to play receiver. And that's fine. He's what, a sophomore? Sophomore, junior? I think he's a sophomore. South Carolina's been a disappointment, y'all. A lot of people had South Carolina in their playoffs. I looked at their schedule and I said, man, that's probably about an 8-4, 9-3 schedule because they got a tough one. Right now, they would be very happy with 8-4, 9-3. Cocktober can still get rolling, though. For some reason, Cocktober's the thing. They always get going, but that wasn't a good start to it, y'all. Hats off to LSU getting another win. Even though they're winning ugly, they're winning low-scoring defensive games, which is the exact opposite of what you've seen from them the last couple of years. Let's get to the controversial one, y'all. Georgia on the road at Auburn. Everybody has an opinion on this game. I'm going to give you mine. Y'all give me yours in the comment section. I think Auburn absolutely got, let's put it that way. The refs stuck it to Auburn last night, y'all. The goal line fumble. The rule is don't have to cross the line, just has to touch the very front of that line. I watched that replay 30 times on my 85-inch TV, y'all. And every time I watched it, that ball definitely hit the front of that line before Georgia punched it out. And I picked Georgia. I had money on Georgia. But I got to call how I see it as an analyst, and I think it was a touchdown. Everybody on the TV thought it was a touchdown. I want y'all's opinion. If you're a Georgia fan, I know you'll say it's a fumble. I don't blame you. If that was Tennessee, I'd say it's a fumble too. But anybody that's not got Georgia, not a Georgia fan, watch this video. Do you think that was a fumble at the end of the half that got Georgia back in this game? Then on that drive, they got a targeting. I agreed with the targeting. I didn't agree with the roughing the passer. Then Kirby said he's clapping his hands that kind of timeout. Bullshit. I swear Auburn might get fucked by the refs harder than Tennessee does. And that's saying something. Because Tennessee gets it hard. We got called for a false start last night after they jumped off sides and killed a drive before half. There's plenty of other ones too. That's just one that sticks out. So y'all tell me in the comment section. Was it a fumble or was it a touchdown? Give me your unbiased opinion on it. I'll tell you, I watched it over and over again on my TV. Big old TV, 4K, UHD, all that. And I saw the ball go across the front of the line before it got punched out. Like I said, everybody has an opinion on it. So y'all give me yours. Georgia gets the win on the road. FSU. Oh. They're in bad shape, y'all. They come out, start the season, put an ass whooping on Bama. Everybody's riding high, and I kept telling y'all, hold your horses now. And they get beat on a Friday night on the road at Virginia, double overtime. Then Miami comes to town. Puts belt to ass on them. Scores a lot closer than the game was. It's 28-3 going into the fourth. Then yesterday, Pitt goes to Tallahassee, 34-31. Wins the game in the fourth quarter. Florida State's back in shambles. I want y'all's honest opinion on this too. Do you think Mike Norvell is a good coach? I've said the whole time I've had this channel, I don't. His seasons at Florida State's literally like 3-9 or 3-7, something on COVID year. Then 5-7. Then I think it was like 7-5, something like that, regular season. Then it was 13-1, 2-10. Now they're 3-3, just hoping to stay 500 for the year. Bama tried to hire Norvell before they got DeBoer. They'd have got Norvell. You think they ride Kalen DeBoer pretty hard? Lord, they'd have got Norvell. It'd have been a disaster, y'all. Norvell, Malzahn coming in, brought that offense in. They caught people off guard the first game or two. Then, as usual, Malzahn's offense seems to get figured out quick. And I don't think he does much tweaking to it. I think he tweaks it before the season, and as the season goes on, he sticks to it. He don't throw any curveballs at you. Malzahn's a freaking Bama slayer, too. He's probably got one of the best. He probably had the best record of anybody against Saban when he was at Auburn. He just seems to find a way to beat Bama, but besides one or two good years, he was like a 7-5 coach. I know he's offensive coordinator, but I don't know. I kept saying put Blake brakes on Florida State, but I figured, hell, they beat Bama. Even if Bama would be down this year, which they don't look like they are, they've turned it back around. It was like they should at least go 8-4 or 9-3, and now that's looking like that's asking a lot, y'all. Pitt with the freshman quarterback going on the road, getting a win down there. That's tough. Florida State's playoff hopes just got killed, y'all. I mean, that's all three of their losses are in conference. So they have no chance at the ACC title game, more than likely. Let me know in the comment section how you feel, FSU fans, if you are one and you're watching. I do not one FSU fan. I ain't talked to him in a while. Last but not least, let's go over Colorado and Iowa State. Iowa State was up there at Texas Tech looking like the top tier of the Big 12. And they lose both their corners. And last 2 weeks just went downhill. They got beat by Cincinnati last week. And it was really, I think it was like 30-7 at one point. It ended up being 38-30. They had a chance there. Then they go on the road to Colorado and lose to a Colorado team that was 2-4. Now they're 3-4. Iowa State drops to 5-2. Iowa State still technically has everything they want in front of them, but it's not looking good. I just want to throw that one on there because I do give Coach Prime hell. So when he gets a good win, I like to throw him on there, clap it up for him. I'm not a Coach Prime fan, but all the health issues and stuff he's going through, I pray for him. Pray that everything's okay. Pray that he gets healed. No matter how bad I dislike him as a coach or his flashiness, all this, I don't wish no ill will on nobody else. I'm just that type of guy. Texas Tech was one of my best bets. 14.5 against Kansas. I picked Kansas to cover. Kansas lost 42-17. I had 2 upset picks. One of them hit. The one that hit was South Florida over North Texas. South Florida beat the brakes off of North Texas. North Texas was favored. That's 5-0. South Florida won, I think, 63-38 at North Texas. My other upset pick was Arizona over BYU. Arizona loses in double overtime, y'all. I was that close. I'm trying to think of my other best bets. I can't remember off the top of my head. If you want to know, if you want to make me eat crow, go watch my other video. You can make me eat it. Y'all, it was a hell of a Saturday, as usual. Any Saturday you get to watch football, it's a hell of a Saturday, especially as long as your team gets out of it with a W. That's all that should matter at the end of the day. All the other games, if your team loses, the other games just don't feel as good watching them anyway. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you feel about Saturday. Let me know how you feel about Auburn, Georgia, all these other games, y'all. Sorry it's so late. Spent the day at the family in Dollywood. Hit that thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel. Get in that comment section. Help a brother out. I appreciate every one of you. God bless you. And go Vols.